Well, hello, everybody. We are here today with power tables. I actually love what I do, but I'm telling you, technology can be something else. I was so excited to do power tables, and I thought all systems were a go. Huh, I just had a dry run. Well, it worked out very well. But listen, I'm Dr. Sheri, the leadership doctor with my Best Life Academy, bringing to you power tables. Yeah, we're talking power tables. Today, I thought we would share an amazing subject that's entitled receipts. Yeah, receipts. So, as we welcome you to Power Tables, as you know, this is where you bring the lunch, we bring the tea. Today, I am drinking my tea. It is a ginger peach and I think turmeric. I brought the package for you. It's pretty cool. It's got anti-inflammatory agents in it. It's got some things that help the digestion. Um, it's got some things that really kind of build you a little bit. So you guys hit me in the chat. Let me know you're here. I'm so excited you're here. But I wanted to share something with you very briefly. It won't take a lot of your time today. But I think it's so important. This is a year where we are the time of the year well, we talk about accounting. We talk about taxes. Remember, we talked about things you could deduct and all those things last time we were talking. But I wanted to bring it to you from a different angle today. Today, we're going to talk about receipts. Mhm. Because the wonderful thing about this type of accounting, my accountant every year he sends me this huge tax preparation sheet. Um, and it's an envelope. It has all types of things. It keeps me current with the updated information, what I can deduct, what I can't deduct, etc. So I know how to get the information to him, not only in a timely manner, but also a concise manner and an accurate manner. And so, with that being said, one of the things that I always have to go back and look at are my receipts. Now, if you're like me, sometimes you have a bookkeeper, other times you have an online accounting system, however you need to do it to keep up. And then some of us, we still do the shoebox method. Probably wouldn't advise that, but if that works for your spreadsheet, it's what we do. Your checkbook, we still do that, or go back to your statements, online statements these days. But however you track that, there's something called receipts. Now, in the streets, we say receipts for a whole other reason. That means I got the dish on you, I know what I'm talking about, and I got the receipts to prove it. All right. So when we talk about receipts, though, in accounting, it still means we have proof, but we have proof on what we spent. Yeah, what we spent. Let's talk about that. We've got proof then on what we call our mental fortitude. Mhm. What did we give our attention to in 2022? What did we do? That means what was our focus on? You know how that goes sometimes. What are we thinking? Because ultimately, what we think about will slowly form how we act and how we behave. That's the receipts. And so you could tell when we're doing what I think Erica Campbell says so well. We're thinking positively. I love that song, by the way. She does an excellent job on it. But when we think positively, positive things come out. And so we have the receipts for positive thinking. Yeah, because we got positive behavior, positive actions, and we got positive outcomes. By the same token, sometimes we're thinking negatively. Yeah, negative Nancy, just nothing's going to work out. I can't see how this is going to happen. And instead of changing that thinking, it's certainly when we see negative actions and negative behavior, we tend to think the world is against us, when actually it came from the inside out. And then we have other intrinsic factors, which are more serious. Sometimes that thinking negatively has come from an imbalance. We're not going to go into all the medical aspects, but in light of certain suicides, especially in the celebrity arena and even closer to home for some of us, we don't want to make light of mental imbalances, things that may create behavior patterns. But it's not because we're just thinking negatively. It's because it's an intrinsic imbalance. There's treatment. We don't want to minimize that. And we understand that sometimes there are cultural taboos that keep us from that, that tell us, oh, they just had a little spell. Well, they just had a little nervous break. Well, every now and then he does that. Not really. It's some intrinsic factors going on within us that need to be addressed. And if certain behaviors are coming out, they need to be spoken of. There needs to be a conversation. And we need to create an atmosphere of safety where it's okay to say that I think something is off. I think something's not quite right. I've seen this a few times in my family and it was dismissed, but I don't think we should dismiss it, not when it pertains to me. And so it's okay to have those conversations. Make sure those conversations are spoken to those who have our best interest at heart. Because sometimes you can't have those conversations with everyone. They're not safe ground. It's not a safety zone. So make sure the confidence are true confidence and not just someone who wants to receive information and run with it. Because after all, our mental fortitude is on the line. So when you look back at 2022, do you have receipts for that? Because somewhere along the line, you may have paid very dearly for that. Yeah. The next one is emotional well being. I know. Sometimes those are a little hard to talk about. It's a little hard to talk about who broke our hearts. It's a little hard to talk about who betrayed us. It's a little hard to talk about who hurt us. But that's exactly what we should do. Who hurt us? What happened? So important. So important. Yes, we have to have those conversations sometimes, but we don't stay there. I'm going to date myself just a little bit. There's a old country and western comedy spoof would come on Saturdays. I was just a little kid, called Hee Haw. So you know how long ago that was. So don't talk about anything else. Um, but when it would come on, there was a particular spoof in which these two buddies always had their moonshine bottles between them or jugs between them. And they would open up with this song: Blues, despair, agony on me, deep, dark depression, excessive misery. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Blues, despair, agony on me. Yeah. And sometimes, we would laugh at that because it was so comical. But after a while, even as a little kid, you'd sing that a few times because it had a catchy tune to it. But sometimes you wouldn't feel so good. We didn't know why. Now we know. Because as we were singing that, those words were creating an atmosphere to bring those things to us: blues, despair, agony, deep, dark depression. Yeah, you can just stay on that, focus on that for so long because of the pain of a broken heart, the pain of the loss of someone significant in your life, the pain that came after you were fired and you put so much of your heart into that company, into that relationship, into that place, into that church, into that business, into building things around you in your community, and you are overlooked. Oh, it creates a breach in your spirit. And so your emotional well being has been disturbed. Your emotional stability is not quite as stable as it once was. You walk out almost feeling like there's a sign on you that things are never going to change. Nah, that's a lie. It's a lie. But the more we speak on it, and it's not that we can't have a conversation, it's not that we don't get counseling for it or we can talk about it, but with that counseling, make sure that we're getting strategies on how to address that pain, how to heal from that pain, from that hurt, how to be restored back to a whole place, how to get your whole life back. And when we talk, how to get our best life back. Yeah, that's what you want to do. And so that I'm not broken emotionally, I'm headed back to wholeness, and I may need help in my journey. That's okay. You may need to journal your feelings for a moment. That's a receipt because we're talking about receipts. We're talking about proof in 2022 and how to pull that and be able to look at it so that we can set some things in place for our 2023 and we can walk forward in a better year emotionally than we did last year. So we can walk forward in a year of mental wellness better this year than we did last year. But if we don't pull the proof, if we don't pull the receipts, if we don't look at what we went through, we won't know how to set the strategies in place and how to have an excellent year. And it will impact everything that we do. So look at that. Yeah, I understand Jimmy Frank broke your heart. I got it. I got it that Rachel really hurt you this time. I got it. I got that understanding that friendship with Bobo took you down this time. I understand that we overlooked some people who really had our backs and probably warned us about Bobo, warned us about Rachel, warned us about Jimmy Frank, and we didn't listen. And our hearts were broken. hmm That relationship we thought we'd have forever, it was gone in a flash. Almost as quickly as it came, it was gone. Yeah, we lost a lot. We lost trust. Can y'all just put that somewhere for me? Because it's difficult to start over again, even with someone new. We don't have trust that it will work out, that it can work out. And we walk in with distrust because our emotional well being is not in a stable place. Thank you so much for putting that there because that's where I was. That's where I was. 2020, y'all, cost us a lot. It cost us a lot. We saw devastation to the left, the right. Every time you turned on the TV, you didn't want to see anything. You would see it come across our notifications on our phone systems. You wanted to turn the notifications off because it was just devastation. In the midst of 2020, some of us had some bright lights. I did. And I thought maybe we were getting off to a good point. And 2021 opened up with a can of whoop, there it is on us. I spent most of 2021 and a greater part of 2022 trying to reestablish my emotional well-being. Yeah, I went through counseling. It was important, very important. But I'm also telling you I had to do the work. I had to do the hard work to look at what broke me and why I lost my trust. I lost my trust that my family would ever be the same again. And I had to realize, guess what? I'm a part of that family. So if the family's going to be headed back to emotional well-being, I've got to do my part. I've got to work hard to get my emotions in balance. I've got to call a thing a thing. If it's depression that's lingering and pushing into mental not wellness, I got to call a thing a thing. I can't say it's a nervous breakdown. If I have something that's, stealing my sleep and I'm becoming anxious about it, I got to talk about that. I got to call a thing a thing. I got to put some things in place that calm me, whether that's taking a walk, whether that's turning the TV or the channel off that thing because the news keeps telling me, feeding me so much information that I'm on information overload and it's making me jittery. If that means turn it off, turn it off. If that means playing a song that makes me happy. I like Pharrell, by the way. That song just makes me happy. Yeah, that one. I like that one. Can't sing today, but it makes me happy when I hear it. If that's what we need, that's what we need. If we need to call a friend, a true friend, because remember you're working on your true you in this new year, call a true friend, not the gossipers, not the people that just want your business and put it in the streets and then come back with a recording. Their idea of what receipts look like, no, that's just trash and creating beef. That's what that is. We're not talking about that kind of receipt. We're talking about the receipts that say, I paid a price to sit in 2023. I worked hard on getting my right mind back. I worked hard on getting my heart healed from this one, this time. And I'm not going to discount it. I'm not going to devalue it. I'm not going to diminish it. I worked hard on this thing. Okay. Bring your receipts to the table from 2022. It'll set your 2023 in order. And the last one. So we want to get you guys out of here. So we started late. I told y'all I was starting with technology and thought the whole thing was running. That's why we're running it right now. I know. I did a whole pitch on the other side. It was really good. Y'all just getting the highlights right now. And sometimes, maybe that's what God wants you to do. God wants you to hear the pitch first. Thank you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. That's a good one. Sometimes He wants you to hear the pitch first to find out what you went through and find out, do you believe the receipts that you're looking at? I believe the first run was for me. I needed to believe the pitch I was delivering, that the receipts that I'm seeing from 2022 on my life in this 2023, they were real. I paid for that. And guess what? So are yours. They're real too. You got receipts from 2022 where people hurt you and you still made it. You have receipts from 2022 where that dude broke your heart, but you still here. You have receipts from 2023 where they stole from you and you still have a roof over your head. You still driving that fine car. You still look pretty with your jewelry on and your made up self. You look amazing. You have receipts from that. You paid and it still wasn't a loss, girl. You came out on the winning side. You came out on the winning side, my brother. She didn't destroy you. She set you free. For the one who will love you, the one who will take care of your heart, the one who will be proud to take your last name. She just set you free for that. That's all she did. Look at that 2022 receipt and say, ooh, I'm thankful. Paid a lot, but I'm sitting in freedom in 2023. See, sometimes it was to get us to a place of freedom. Freedom emotionally, where your heart could love again. Freedom mentally, where your mind could welcome it again. Freedom. Check your receipts from 2022 and this last one, because we talked about mental fortitude. You have receipts from 2022. You got your right mind back. You have receipts from 2022 on your emotional well-being. Yeah, your heart is back. Yeah, heart fixer, mind regulator. He did all that. It's back. You can smile again. You can even smile at the folks that hurt you. Isn't that something? That's when you know you're healed. It may take a while sometimes, but that's when you know you're healed. You can smile right in their face. I like that amen coming up. You can smile right in their face, baby. It's all good. Okay? At least it's all good for you. It's all good for me. Because you heal from that. They're still trapped, wondering why the plan didn't work. Y'all, I'm going to drink some more tea on that one because that was real good. Yeah, They're looking at you, wondering why it didn't work. But that came in your life. And yes, you paid a price. But the price was for your freedom. Yeah, that's what it was about. Getting you free and in a healthy place for that one and those that will love you, the true you. That's what we're talking about. So the mental fortitude, the emotional well-being to get that place of stability back. But then the last one was, or is rather, you have receipts for time. You spent a lot of time, my God, on some stuff that didn't deserve your time. Let me tell you why that's important, that you pull the receipts for the time spent on these things. Because time is spent in us working, and money is tied to money because it's tied to it because we spend time earning an income that will help take care of us and take care of our families. You may have some quiet money, investment, and it brought something to you to take care of your family, not only now, but in the future. But guess what? That investment had to build over time. Every now and then you may get those one hit wonders, but they're not often. Most investments are over time. Your 401k builds over time. Your savings builds over time. The interest on that thing, the dividends on the investments that you make. And then at the end of your 40, 30, 32, 80, whatever you decide, however they decide they're going to do that one, you get a salary. Yeah. And so when you look at that, see how much you spent. Because the amount of money sometimes will tell you how much time you spent on something. Again, I love this time of the year because as much as it's taxing, pardon the pun here, um, it's good when I sit down to see what my bank statements look like, how much money I spent on the car, how much money we had to spend on the mortgage, how much money we had to spend maybe on insurances of some time, where our investments went. And even on these, we love to wear these wonderful, these wonder weaves and wigs over here that I love. I even see how much money I spent on that. Ooh, child, it can be something. But whatever it is, how was the time spent? Did I take enough time to have spa days? I know. I paid for some of them for people I thought that loved me. I know I probably need to drink some more tea, but I just need to share this with you. How much of that was actually spent on you and renewing and reconnecting and regenerating the true you in 2022? You'll be surprised at what you didn't spend on you and what you did spend on others. And they can't even account for it right now. You need to pull the receipts on that and see the imbalances in the system. I know this is sticky, y'all. I know. I had to do it. I did not spend as much time as I needed to renew, reconnect, regenerate, reestablish my true you because a lot had been drained out of me, but not a great deal poured into me. We are responsible for the pouring. Don't always wait for somebody to do it for you. You and I can sense when things are not quite right, when it's a little bit off, it's a little bit imbalanced, it's hurting a little bit more than it should hurt. I'm not telling you we don't make sacrifices. I'm not telling you that sometimes our back is up against the wall and we just have to stay the course to see that thing through. I'm not telling you crises don't happen. I'm not telling you that. But if we take time for ourselves in between the crisis, when the crisis is over, to rebuild, to reconnect, to regenerate, to be restored, if we take that time, we get to see us becoming the true us, the true you, the true me, building a better us. We get to see that. But when we don't, we constantly go down and down and down. It's like constantly pulling from an account and never depositing anything. After a while, it's going to be on insufficient funds. And I dare say, if we look at the time factor and pull the receipts, we were more in the negative than we were in the positive. accounting terms, we were more in the red than we were in the black. Not a good statement. That's not one of those sheets you want to see. That's not a ledger you want to see. But that's the ledger you and I walk around day in and day out with because we don't give ourselves proper time. Time to heal between relationships. I know Auntie gonna be a little real right now. Um, you may not need to go from Jimmy Frank to Leroy right now. You might need to take a moment to see how Jimmy Frank got in your life, how Jimmy Frank got in your head, how Jimmy Frank got in your heart. And even after Jimmy Frank was gone, Jimmy Frank was still there because he was in your mind and he was in your brokenness. I know Auntie just gonna hit that thing right now because it's important to take the time to heal. It's important when we go through a crisis to understand what happened, what we lost, mhm, and how we're feeling because we cherished the thing that was lost. It's important to take the time. It's important to take a vacation. Yeah. It's important to treat yourself to lunch. And sometimes it just might be you, girl. That's okay. Treat yourself. You've treated everybody else. My brother, treat yourself to lunch. Treat yourself to a nice dinner. In my singleness, I would go sit down. Four-star restaurant, all dressed up, made up, laid out to the nine. Do you hear me? 3.5-inch heels on, parked in valet. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. What was I telling myself? I'm worth the time. Walk in, mhm, and how many would table for one? And they would look. Oh, yes. Thank you so much. I'll be right with you. Eat whatever I chose to eat. Why? I'd done it for others. Why couldn't I do that for me? Yeah. If you're waiting for the party, look in the mirror. The party starts with you. You're the VIP. Yeah. You set it up. You the star. You the celebrity. Walk on in the room like you own it, boo. And y'all, sometimes it got really wild on my side. I didn't mind walking in with a crown. I know. I know what you said. Don't send that over here. Because I didn't mind spending the time. What was I saying to me, the woman in the mirror? You're worth it. You are a treasure. Yeah, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're amazing. Girl, ooh, that look bad on you. Ooh, that's what? Slay all day? Yes. Yes. So pull that time factor. You'll find you didn't have as many beach days as you deserved. I love the beach, by the way. Whatever it is. Sometimes it's reading a book. Sometimes it's going to the library. Sometimes it's taking a walk in the park. But whatever that thing is, you owe it to yourself to spend valuable, set aside time just for you. That means you understand your true you. And as my friend said last night, you just owe it to yourself. Mhm. Don't be new to the game, be true to the game. Okay. So that's all my stuff today. Questions on how to establish and maintain, sustain, contain your mental fortitude, emotional well being, and time management, because that's what it is. It's managing your time. Going back, I'm so glad to see you guys. I know some of you had to get back to work, so we cranked off a little bit later, but Please go back and have some. Oh, I love this. Love you. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. I see my cousin Gail here all the way from Lufkin. Love you, love you, love you. Sacrificing to others and losing you. Exactly. Yes, my cousin Minister Val, Anita, see you today. Freedom. Oh my gosh. Yes. So important. So important. We got to have that. And then when we lost trust. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to get those things restored. And I just wanted to share with you just a moment what happens when those things happen. And so I want you to be able to call me, connect with me. You can email me at info@drsherryleads.com. If you have a question after this, you can always call us 713-487-8333. We would love to connect with you and speak with you at my Best Life Academy. Always great to hear from you. And as always, like and subscribe to my Best Life Academy if you haven't done that on our Facebook page, and then connect with us across social media. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Clubhouse. We didn't add down there, but we were on there on Wednesday. So go back and listen to the replays because there's some noise factors in your life. We talked about that on Clubhouse. You need to go listen to that one. That one was a pretty good one. And guess what? I'm going to learn to work this technology one way or the other. But one thing I promise you, I won't stop coming. That's for sure. So thank you guys for coming in late with me. Hopefully we came in hot with some great information for you. Those receipts, pull those 2022 receipts. They have set up your 2023 and it's going to be good. This is Power Tables with Dr. Sheri, my Best Life Academy, where you bring the lunch and, well, we bring the tea. And we did bring the tea today. Have an amazing Friday. We'll talk with you all next time.